Venus back in Pisces, March 27th, still retrograde, Déjà vu, high romance, Requiem for a dream. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite transits of all of 2025, Venus in Pisces. The goddess of love and beauty in her exaltation, fresh out of her detriment in Aries. And she'll be in Pisces till April 30th. And the March 27th to April 12th portion, she's still retrograde. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what all of that means and who it will impact the most personally, as well as some of what the collective expressions might look like. But first, I want to say, if you're watching this on Instagram, I'm just going to post the first 3 minutes here. The entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane Nicole. Please find me there. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. It helps me in the algorithm and to grow my business and to grow my community, and puts me in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. If you're watching this on Instagram, please make sure that you are following astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole and like, comment, share. It is free for you and very helpful to me. And now, without further ado, I'm going to get back to, yes, again, one of my favorite transits of the year, Venus in Pisces, March 27th to April 30th, still retrograde from the March 27th to the April 12th. And I point that out because there are two distinctly different, phases. There's the part where she's in retrograde, and so she's still reflecting. She's doing a deep dive into her emotions. And when I say she's, who are we talking about? Well, if you're a Taurus rising or a Libra rising, you are likely Venus. Whether you're a man or a woman, Venus is your chart ruler if you're a Taurus rising or a Libra rising. However, if you have the sun or moon or midheaven in Libra or Taurus, or if you happen to have a stellium in Libra or Taurus, then Venus is going to represent you as well. But if Venus does not represent you when I'm doing this reading, Venus may represent a woman in your life, whether that be a friend or a sister or a daughter or a romantic interest, lover, spouse. So you see, Venus can show up different ways in our lives, but the reading still applies. We'll just be looking at it through different angles. And what I love about Venus in Pisces is that this is where she's exalted. So this is where she's celebrated and revered and lifted up and appreciated. So this is a step up in dignity, March 27th, from where Venus has been in her detriment, fighting for survival in Aries, So I think that this is a welcome change for Venus. And I think that it's going to start to show, bring some relief or a certain kind of a salve to those Venusian topics in our life. So that's going to be romance and art, beauty, style, decor, pleasure, attraction, all of that. Now, she's still retrograde when she goes in there, when she first gets there. And she's in Pisces. Pisces is a double-bodied sign. So with Pisces, there's always a dark and a light. With every sign, there's always a dark and a light. But Pisces, part of their archetype is like just that's part of their existence. Like, you know, it's the two fish, one swimming up towards like the spiritual realm and the otherworldly, and the other swimming down towards the earthly realm and desires. And so Venus in this case, there's still some deep soul work going on. Even though she's stepping up in dignity, there's still a lot of deep soul reflection happening for this Venus. She's been on her underworld journey, and now you can see her in the morning sky on the eastern hemisphere at sunrise. But Venus is like, you know, she's doing some deep soul searching, some deep like inner work, you know. And so again, Taurus rising, Libra rising, heavy Taurus Libra influence in your chart, you're probably going to relate to this. And she's feeling some like very like deep emotion, but there's a lot of beauty, there's a lot of love there. Like there's so much like love and grace and compassion, and there's so much beauty there. But there's a, you know, there's also a darkness, there's also a melancholy. And as Venus conjoins Neptune as soon as she steps into Pisces on March 27th, and this can be very ethereal, very mystical and religious and spiritual on the one hand. You know, it can also be like, you know, sexual healing on the other hand. It can be a very romantic, idealistic experience. It can be a mystical experience. But it can also be a deceptive experience in love, or looking at things through rose-colored shades. But this is also could be like a meeting your soulmate type of experience, because this is once in every couple of lifetimes type of energy. It took Neptune 165 years to get to this 29th degree of Pisces, the very last degree of Pisces. So there is something about like this very romantic ending, or this, you know, romantic tragedy or artistic tragedy or darkness, but like the beauty that comes from darkness or grief or loss. It's a double-bodied. It's a very watery kind of energy. You know, it's special. This is some special energy. This Neptune Venus conjunction at the very last degree of Pisces. Well, she's exalted. You know, it's a beautiful, tragic love story, you know, like Romeo and Juliet. You know, it's Shakespearean in nature, you know. There are many different ways it could express, you know, but that's one of them. And then there's like Mercury will be meeting Neptune 2 days later on the 29th, which you should go back and watch my Mercury retrograde in Aries and Pisces video. But Mercury and Venus are working very close together. So what's going on with one of them is kind of going on with both of them, because they're both in this retrograde story, combining the Aries and the Pisces parts of our charts. So look at your chart, no matter who you are. I mean, the world is going through this, like, and you know, we're all interpreting it in our different lives in varying ways, but you know, we're at an important threshold in history right now, and you know, I think that Venus is saying goodbye, you know, to something in this phase, this month, that she's, you know, dabbling in these last degrees of Pisces back and forth. You know, she's doing some closing ceremonies, closing acts, closing, you know, shows, whatever. She's in, you know, she's closing up. You know, this is the end credits. This is the last bow for Venus and Neptune together in this way. And again, this, you know, this can convey a very transcendental spiritual experience of some kind, a very deeply soulful experience. This can have to do with being you know, deeply moved by beautiful artistry, whether it's music or theater or, you know, art, paintings, you know, like whatever, the ballet, the opera, you know, but just being very deeply moved. It can also be, I mean, this is a treasure trove for creatives, Venus and Neptune, for painting, for filmmaking, for photography, anything to do with images. This is deeply rich, psychic, creative energy to just pull from and bring into being beautiful works of art, you know? So I love this transit, but you know, it's also energy of just like getting lost in the romance of something, getting lost in the idealism of something. It can be overindulging in drugs or alcohol or sweets, you know. So there's a lot going on, and Venus and Neptune will be conjuncting again at 0 degrees Aries, which is very interesting, and it's another video for another day. But that's the next time they'll be meeting, and I just think that there's something so interesting about that. So this is their last meeting in Pisces. It's very, very romantic, but it does feel like they're saying goodbye, you know, in this incarnation, this version. And yeah, so what else did I want to say? Then Venus, so Mercury will enter, then Mercury is going to get drunk. Mercury is going to be drunk this weekend, just warning you. Whoever Mercury is in your life, he or she is going to be drunk this weekend and maybe not making sense and maybe causing more chaos and confusion. But yeah, so, but then let's turn the page. Venus will be conjoining the North Node. Wait, did I say everything that she was doing? Yeah, so she got with Neptune first. Just want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. Then on the 1st, she's conjoining the North Node in Pisces. And so Venus, yes, she's hungry for something. There's something that she wants. There's a deep desire. This is in Pisces. This is a deep yearning in her soul for something. You know, this can be a romantic yearning, a creative yearning. This can be a, you know, something that's been lost that she wants back. It can be a divine yearning, a spiritual yearning, for a deeper connection with God, or a romantic yearning. But there's something that Venus wants deeply in her soul. And that's what's being reflected by the April 1st conjunction with the North Node as she's retrograde in Pisces. And again, this is where the beautiful songs and poetry come from. This is where the beautiful creative contributions come from. But this is deep, you know. And you know, the Mercury, of course, will be conjunct the North Node on the 3rd. So Mercury is like going behind Venus, and it's like kind of like, I don't know. It's like Venus is saying what she wants, and then Mercury is putting the logistics behind making it happen, it looks like. And then, what else is Venus up to? Then she's conjoining Saturn on the 7th, you know. This is serious commitments. This is serious bonds. This is lifelong bonds rooted in values of grace and compassion and kindness and art and creativity and beauty and love and you know, and you know, this can definitely bring the death of revered and elder female artists, you know, that we love, you know, songwriters, poets, filmmakers, painters. And then we've got Venus sextile Uranus on the 7th too. So this is an unexpected twist. There's an opportunity here. Sextiles are opportunities, so they're not like trines. They don't land in your lap. You have to recognize the blessing to receive it. But this is a brilliant creative opportunity. It's an opportunity to, this is an opportunity to make a great financial investment, it looks like here, that can be very lucrative over time. Long-term investments. This is a good seeding point for long-term investments that will have really great returns. But, you know, long-term. Mercury stationing the same day, which is interesting. So it's going to be probably a tricky day in the market, but an opportunity, creating an opportunity to invest in ways that will make money in the long term. That's what it looks like for April, Monday, April 7th. Yeah, you know, and then Venus stations direct on Saturday the 12th. So that is really going to be, and that's also the full moon of Libra. So that's going to be, I think, a very, very romantic Saturday, or a very creative Saturday. A lot of pleasure and, you know, beauty to be taken in and appreciated. And I guess I'll stop there for now, because I'll probably come back and do another video when Venus goes direct. And I just wanted to stop in and kind of talk about this. I'm not going to talk about any more transits, but I feel like I missed one. I feel like I missed Venus trine Mars. And I'm like, where did that happen? Oh, that's on the 6th. Okay, so I did miss that. And that is like, that's a very romantic aspect. Sunday, the 6th, Venus, Mars trine Venus in Pisces. Mars is depressed or debilitated, but it looks like Venus in Pisces is really uplifting him, and that they're having a beautiful exchange. So this can be a day of like, you know, it can be very romantic. It can be a day of just like feeling like you're in the flow. Things are just flowing, very creative, a lot of, you know, feelings of compassion and generosity, and kind of, you know, circulating. Anyone who has anything at 25 degrees Scorpio, this is going to be a particularly beautiful day for you personally, because you will be experiencing a grand trine by this combination. And so that's going to be just really bringing, I don't know, a burst of good fortune into your existence, bringing together 3 different areas of your life that are inhabited by Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio in your chart. So if you would like to know more about that or any of the other aspects that I talked about in this reading, please book a reading with me. Astrology works best when you work one-on-one with an astrologer, and I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. I would love to read for you. I will put a link in the description below. You can go to my website and book a reading with me, or you can email me. I'll put the email as well. And if you would just like to buy me a coffee or a tea or a croissant to thank me for this reading, I will put a link to my Venmo in the description so that you can donate. And yeah, in general, I just, I felt it was important to do this video, you know. I don't have a lot of time right now, and it was hard to slip this in, but I wanted to give this offering because I think that it's really important in these times where there is a lot of darkness and there are a lot of really complex, challenging things that we're dealing with. I think it's so important to like pay attention and recognize and speak life into the beautiful transits that are happening, because despite all the obvious darkness and chaos and mayhem that's happening in the world, there's also a lot of beauty in the world. There are a lot of beautiful people in the world. There's a lot of compassion in the world. There's a lot of kindness. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of philanthropy and a lot of generosity. That exists, and we need to acknowledge that just as much as we're acknowledging the darkness that is going on. We cannot just feed the darkness, because I believe by appreciating and upholding the beauty in the world, we're giving more energy and to that. And I'm not being very articulate when I'm saying this, but this isn't even coming from me. This is coming from the cosmic alignment of this pile up in Pisces that's trying to bring our attention to the fact that the dark and the light are inextricably combined. We cannot separate them. That is part of the whole deal when we incarnate into a human body on planet Earth. And Pisces is going to remind us of the beauty that humans create through art, through music, through dance, through the drums, through painting, through sculpture, through photography, all of the beautiful creative contributions that, humans give to the world and to humanity, to the collective. All of the spiritual and divine and mystical contributions that humans give to the collective. There's so much beauty, the creative contributions. Like, I'm probably repeating myself, and I may not be as articulate as I could be because Mercury is retrograde. I'm also bound to enter Pisces, and but I'm trying to convey to you what the planets are telling me. But this energy can be very deceptive, and it can be a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. There are scams going on. There's catfishing that is going on. There is fraud going on. Be careful. That is happening in this energy too, and that's why it's so, much respect to Neptune, because Neptune can go either way. It's like the ocean. Neptune is like the ocean. The ocean is this beautiful body of water. You can sit in front of it and you can meditate and you can dream, and it can soothe your soul, and it's just so beautiful to gaze upon. And you can go inside of it, and the salt water can heal your body, and you can find beautiful treasures. But you can also get stung by a jellyfish. You can be toppled over by a wave. There can be a tsunami. You can go sailing, but you can also drown. Like, the ocean is like, there's beauty to behold, but it's dangerous. You have to respect it. That's what Neptune is like. And Neptune is really in play with Venus right now as she enters Pisces. And it's this pileup. It's Venus, it's Neptune, it's the North Node, it's Saturn. And I've been talking about this a lot. And this is all leading up to the exact conjunction of Saturn and Neptune, which, amongst other things, has to do with the complete fusion of reality and sci-fi. Like, that's coming up. Like, this is all, we're building towards that, and this is like, Neptune hasn't been in Pisces in 165 years. So that in and of itself shows that we're at this very historical turning point for humanity right now, with Neptune at the very last degree. And the last time Neptune moved into Aries, we had the Civil War, and, the American Revolution, and all these things that are coming full circle right now for us to kind of like look at and deal with as a collective, but it makes it even more rare that Saturn and Venus and, the North Node are all there. Now we're going into thousands of years. Like, now we're going into, just to say that this is a once in a few lifetimes type of moment that we're in right now. And so the people that we're interacting with, the activities that we're engaging in, the questions and the queries the quandaries or the desires that are on our soul right now have implications that reach back to lives before this one and into lives beyond this one. And if that's too heady and too much because, hey, the here and now is enough, I get it. It's true, the here and now is enough. We don't have to go into past lives and future lives. I'm just saying. But in the here and now, it's also just, it has the potential to be very spiritual and transcendental, even psychic, in some cases, very healing, in other cases, physically, emotionally, spiritually, very creative, in other cases. But, in some cases, it's, it's addiction, it's overdoses, it's suicides as well. It's deception, it's smoke and mirrors, it's illusion and delusion and scams and frauds, So, proceed with caution and proceed with, make a beautiful sacrifice to Neptune. Offer something beautiful. Create something beautiful in the world and give it to Neptune. And I think you will be very safe through this transit. But yes, Venus is exalted, but in Pisces. So there's a darkness to the beauty. There's a yearning. And I don't know. I guess that's where I'll wrap up. I've been talking for a long time now. Yeah, she'll be going back and forth with Uranus and the North Node and Neptune. So these are just this is very ethereal. It's very romantic. It's very poetic. It's a treasure trove for artists who work with images and music and dance. Take care of your feet, pamper your feet. Pisces rules the feet. Great time for a pedicure, walking in the sand by the ocean with bare feet. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I don't have the cards here, so I'm not going to do a pull, but I'll do like a separate tarot reading with the cards. And there's a lot of major astrology coming up this week. We've got the Aries solar eclipse coming up, so I'll be doing a video on that. And then we've got Neptune into Aries. Big events this weekend coming up. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Happy Venus in Pisces.